But talking about what would keep the player base, I think everyone now is waiting for season 1, right? So everyone is waiting for season 1, which is about a little over a week and a half. They are supposed to be teasing. What is it supposed to be teasing? They're supposed to be teasing, what's supposed to be coming up. Not just you're going to be a 24 versus 24 game mode coming up. It's a battle arena style, so you have 24 people queuing up. I don't know if that's going to help the game. Again, the game probably needs more of the PVE status to it so that those people can be happy. I think you can get people who enjoy the PVE eventually to, test themselves into PvP. You have to make it enjoyable enough for them to join that. So I would definitely say when it comes to that, they need to do that. They also need to drop PlayStation 5. They have Xbox and PC. And I don't know if Xbox is exclusive deal only with Mecha BREAK, that they're the only console, but they are missing out on PlayStation players. There's a lot of PlayStation players that wanted to play this game, but they can't. So they're missing out on that opportunity as well. Now, they did get Steam Deck into it, but as you saw, the reviews on Steam for Steam Deck is trash because they didn't have Linux support. So Steam Deck uses Linux software. So that wasn't great. So there's a lot of stuff that they could do. Again, I'm not sure what they're doing, but in about a week and a half, we're going to see some changes. So we're going to see, did they make enough changes? Did they make, it's never going to be enough for people. Let's just say that for sure. It will never be enough for people. People want flat out PvE, which is going to take them some time to get PvE. I don't see PvE, like dedicated PvE, probably not until like end of season 2 to season 3. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to be able. I think they're going to try to refine Mashmuk and make Mashmuk more specifically for PvE, and then try to upgrade on top of it. Maybe a new map for Mashmuk. They're going to try to use this as a way to keep people happy for PvE for some time. I can see that is what they're doing. They're testing the waters with this. Obviously, people want this, but they're trying to figure out a way how they can implement that. So, I mean, they need to eventually have a split team. They need to have a team that focuses specifically on PvP and balance changes. Look, I don't mind as a person, as a content creator, and as a player, say, look, we said we were going to give you 3 to 2 strikers every season. We're going to only give you 1 now every season. And the reason why we're only giving you 1 is we want to really focus on PvE content. I think everyone would understand that. All right, you're going to not worry about having multiple strikers, just have 1 and focus on PvE. Like, I totally would understand that they are doing that if they decide to do that. But I don't think they're going to give us PvE for some time. Again, I don't think until probably into season 2, maybe into season 3. It's just it requires a lot of the game to really focus on maps, story. You got to think about like the story, the cutscenes. You got to think about voice lines. You got to think there's a lot to go into PvE. So it's almost like a totally different game, because people are not going to just enjoy, all right, this PvE slob, right? Just let me go and play this PvE and then let me just get in, get out, get my loot and get out. That's only going to hold people so much. People are going to want more. People are going to want some story. People are going to want that. So they're going to have to build into that. So that's why I'm saying I don't think they're going to jump into full PvE until like season 2, season 3. That's just my personal take on it. But they're going to use this Mashmuk as a way to, build on top of that and either give us a new map, have more chances so that people can get inside there more often without having to do the other Mashmuk. They're going to try to refine what they're doing with this PvE Mashmuk only as a way to bridge themselves into something more PvE specific focus. But I think you need to have a separate team to do PvP because you need to have balance changes. A lot of people complain about balance changes. Now, look, I only played PvP when I played the Fridays and Saturdays here, right? Only Fridays and Saturdays I get a chance to actually play. I'm not grinding it every day, so I don't see it as someone who's, who does this almost like as like a job. They do it every single day. They grind out. They say, oh, this character is overpowered. This character is overpowered, because it's really tough to say, because some people say this is I've heard people say this character is overpowered. By the time you try the character, it's like, bro, there's a lot of counters for this striker. It's just people are not picking those strikers, so that striker is overpowered because no one's picking a striker to counter that striker. So that's just like an example of it. Like, for instance, Tricera and Stego. Stego, they're pretty strong, but as we tried Inferno out, Inferno melts the hell out of those characters. It really does. So, like, you know, and obviously people don't understand how good Serenif is too. Serenif can melt Tricera as well. So this is like, people are saying Tricera and Stego are so overpowered, and they are, because you're going to see them a lot in every single match. They are overpowered. They are strong, but you need to have someone to counter it. And no one's picking Serenif. No one was really picking Inferno. So that's why you had those characters that felt like they were overpowered. Now I feel like they're in a good spot, because now these characters, Inferno, Hurricane, Serenif, you know, you have all these strikers that got better to counter those specifically. And that's what they were really meant. Like, if you think about Inferno and Hurricane and Serenif, they're really meant to, like, really focus on those bigger mechs that sits there all together. So don't get me wrong, there was some tweaking that I like about Tricera and Stego. Like, you can't just stay in one spot. You have to move around. You have to regenerate your shields. You have to get your anti-drone missiles. Like, that makes sense to me. That makes perfect sense. So that's just my take on that. I would definitely say what they also need to do is put all the ranks, put them closer together. We have like 12 ranks, give or take. Like, we don't need that many ranks. Like, cut the ranks down, merge the servers. We have a lot more people that way, and then add PlayStation into the mix. You know, that would help you get more players for the time being. But a lot of people don't like the game because of PVE. I don't even want to say monetization, because honestly, I don't feel that way unless you're playing Mashmuk. I don't really care for the mods in casual. Again, that's my only gripe when it comes to them. I don't really see the monetization. Yes, do I not agree that you shouldn't pay $47 for a Stellaris or a Falcon skin? Yeah, I don't agree with it. I think it's very pricey. I think maybe it's more like $20-$30. Now, granted, you have special animations that they do play a factor into it, and they're trying to get the value of it. I understand that. I understand. I think it's overpriced, but that's just the way they're pricing it. You don't have to buy it. It's not like you need to buy it. They're not going to, hold you back from it. On top of that, the other thing I don't like is probably the Battle Pass. I feel like the Battle Pass right now, like, if we were to take this away, the Battle Pass here specifically, there's not a lot of stuff I care for it. There's not a lot of stuff besides these characters. I don't care for the loungers. I don't care for the gym. We tried to Mashmuk, so you're going to need cargo rockets. That makes perfect sense. Sure, some of these cosmetics look pretty cool, but everything else, I don't really care for it as much. So I wish they would give us unlimited supply crates. I would definitely keep playing and getting more mission tokens to open the supply crates. But there's nothing in here that I care for, really. So I'm done. So I don't really care for mission tokens. Now I'm going to try to grind out some mission tokens to see how much I can get. Will I get enough for the Panthers Javelin? I doubt it, but I'm going to try. We'll see how that works. But that is just my take. Like, there's a lot they need to do. The PvE aspect to it is limited right now. Hopefully they enhance upon it. I don't see them doing strictly PvE only until like Season 2, Season 3, because there's so much to be involved in it. I don't see that happening anytime soon. The buffs and nerfs to PvP specifically is really tough because, I was glad that they said, look, Stego and Welkin are picked so much. They're picked so much. Hey, thank you for the follow. They're picked so much specifically that because Welkin is needed, because they are needed, and it's 100% win rate when you have a Welkin on your team, we have to adjust a Welkin. And I agree. You know what? That's true. If it has 100% win rate, or a good every time a Welkin is picked on one side and it's so oppressive that the other team doesn't have a Welkin, yeah, I understand that. Stego being 93%. I understand that. When you have a high pick rate and also win rate because of that, I understand that. So that's when you have to say, look, community, we're doing the nerfs because he has a really high win rate, and we have to adjust accordingly. That I can understand. But I have so many people complaining like, oh, Tricera is trash. Yeah, Tricera is still amazing. Dude, a Tricera versus anyone else on a 1v1, Tricera could potentially win, So, like, I don't like that balance changes. Like, you have to have, like, people to show you a team just for that PvP to say, look, this is why we're doing these balance changes for that specifically, for these mechs to keep PvP people happy. So, And then obviously the, like we said, the battle pass as well. But that's just my 2 cents when it comes to the, what I think about the game, the monetization of it. I think it's fine. Yeah, the skins are pretty pricey. I think the marketplace is oversaturated, like you mentioned, like you guys mentioned earlier. Like I think all this is oversaturated. I can't even sell anything. Yes, I can take my items and get credits for it, matrix credits, and that can help me in some Mashmuk stuff. So I can totally understand that. But it's like this is oversaturated. Maybe the prices are too high. Maybe that's what it is. So maybe we have to lower the prices or something like that. They also need to inject probably people to get some core right as well. I don't know. That's just my take on it. But I mean, I'm a content creator, so I'm going to keep making content for him. I do understand that there's some stuff that I need to, I'm not saying I'm going to be always negative or I'm not going to ignore people. Like I understand they have valid excuses, not valid excuses. They have valid points on why they don't like the game. Some people uninstall the game altogether. And I totally understand that. I understand that. I'm also looking at this game. I only play it 2 times a week. I'm chill with it. I like it. It's fun. I like to make content with it. So that's the reason why I'm doing it. I have my own reasons, but when it comes to the content creator program, I'm curious myself to see what kind of stuff they'll do for content creators. I got listed today or this weekend for the special Maple Dawn skin, which is really cool. If you think about it, if you're a content creator, if you don't already know, as a content creator, like, I play with other content creator programs. Some of them, like, they'll give you actual good money. They'll give you money, right? But they need you to sell the game, and you get a commission off of that. And then you're good to use that money whenever you want. But the problem is, let's just use an example. And I don't mean to dog a certain game. The First Ascendant. Content creator for them. All right? You buy using my link, I get 1% or 10% of it. Within 2 months, all the money that I made was gone because I didn't have enough money to use it. So there was a limit. I had to have like $150 or something like that. I had like $50. People use my link to buy stuff, but I didn't have enough, so it expired. And I'm like, what the heck? And that's all they're doing. And I felt a little weird about that. Like, when it comes to a content creator program, like they're not really helping. That's my take on it. When it comes to Mecha BREAK content creator, like they're giving people the media stuff. Here's the videos. Here's this. Specifically 4K, so it's easier for you to work with. And then they're giving us the stuff. They're giving us special drops, which is really nice. So certain content creators every weekend is going to get special drops. I think that's really cool. I hope that they do more stuff. I want private servers for content creators. That's just me, because I want to be able to test the new mechs before they come out and say, hey, look, these mechs, I already have guys on them. I could be your advertiser. Not me specifically, but the content creators could be advertisers. Here's the new mech, Hell. Here's the new mech, Asphard. And here's a beginner's guide on them here, and have it where we can drop it the day that it releases so that everyone has it. So, like I would want stuff like that as a content creator, me personally. And if they don't do that, like I have some gripes with that too. So I understand everyone has their own things about the game. That's just my 2 cents though. I don't mean to rant on about that, but I was planning to make a video eventually about some of the stuff that bothers me in this game. And even the content creator stuff, which is, again, I'm cool with it. I'm just riding the wave. So, merging the servers would be huge, but I don't know about the ping though. Yeah, I know. That's something that we have to worry about. For $50, skin kind of bundle is kind of fine. We got games like League of Legends selling $500 skins. Battle Pass needs an overhaul. Something copy and Deep Rock Galactic Battle Pass. Yeah, the Battle Pass needs to be reworked for sure. They need to give us more stuff inside here for sure. I totally agree with that for sure.